All right, hello everyone, and today we're going to look at the notes for section 1.4. So, a formula is an equation that relates two or more quantities that are represented by variables. Okay, sometimes, especially in science, you'll be asked to solve for one variable in terms of another variable. Then you may be asked to use this new equation to evaluate the desired quantities, okay? So basically what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be giving you an equation or a formula, asking you to solve for one of the variables, and then once you're done, we're going to give you a quantity to solve into another.
That old butterfly hanger that was on the floor.
All right, so let's take a look at this first one. Okay, so it says the formula above gives the surface area of a cylinder with radius r and height h. Which of the following gives h in terms of s and r? So we're asked to solve for h, basically, is what this says. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this bad boy, this h right here, all by itself. Okay? So first thing we need to do is we're trying to get that piece alone. So we're trying to get all the other garbage away from it. So the first thing we need to do is let's minus the 2 pi r squared. That's terrible. Let me try that again. Minus 2 pi r squared. And again, I'll continue the work over here. So when I subtract it from s, we're going to have s minus 2 pi r squared is equal to, now these canceled over here, leaving 2 pi r h. Okay. Now again, our goal is we're still trying to solve for h. So our next step, because this is all multiplied together here, I'm going to undo all of this at the same time with division. So 2 pi r. Now be careful here because there's a minus in between these pieces. We're going to divide this by 2 pi r. And I have to divide this by 2 pi r. Okay. So then we see if we could try to reduce. So can I reduce anything with s and 2 pi r? The answer is no. So s divided by 2 pi r minus. Now on this one, we can cancel 2's. We can cancel some pi. So sad. And r squared and r, I can reduce and leave 1 r up top. So this becomes just r here is equal to h. So looking at my answer set, if we look at option A, that is our answer. Okay, s divided by 2 pi r, that's this guy right here, minus r. Okay. All right, so let's look at the next one. Okay. The density of an object is found by dividing by the mass, m, of the object by its volume, v. Which of the following equations gives volume in terms of m and d? So first off, we have to get the original equation that says density is equal to dividing mass by volume. Okay, so now in part 2, it says which of the following equation gives volume in terms of m and d? So it's asking to solve for v this time. So the biggest problem we have to start is we have to get the v out of the denominator. So I'm timesing both sides by v. So dv is equal to m. Okay, now I'm not trying to find m, I'm trying to solve for v. So I'm going to divide by d's. So v equals m over d, and here's our equation. So option B. Now here's the substitution part. What is the volume in milliliters of an object with a mass? So we're looking at a mass of 24 grams and a density of 3 grams per liter. Okay, so finding the volume, so mass and the density is going to be 3 grams per milliliter. Okay, so using our formula, V equals the mass, which is 24, divided by 3 grams per liter. You should get 8. So is that one. Alright, now this looks like a really fun one, so I'm going to shrink this down, give us plenty of room to work. Alright, so here we go. When designing a stairway, an architect can use the riser tread formula 2h plus d equaling 25, where h is the riser height in inches and d is the depth of the tread in inches. For any given stairway, the riser heights are the same and the tread depths are the same for all the stairway. Which of the following expresses riser height in terms of tread depth? Okay, so we're going to be solving for h by the look of it. So using our equation, so we have 2h plus d is equal to 25. All right, so now we're going to solve for h, so minus the d. 2h is equal to 25 minus d. Now we're going to divide this by 2. Oh, hold on a second. That's not right. Okay, so I divide this by 2, divide this by 2. So I get h is equal to 25 halves minus d over 2. But notice our answers over here, we have the fraction out front. So instead of dividing by 2, what they did was they multiplied by a half to clear the 2 away from the h. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit here. I'm going to go back to this point right here. So instead of dividing by 2, they thought they'd get tricky with you and say, okay, instead what we're going to do is we're going to times both sides by a half. So h is equal to 1/2 of 25 minus d. Oop. And there it is. So looking at what we have, it's not that one. 25 minus d could be that one. Negative 1/2, negative 1/2. Nope. So it's got to be b. Alright, so that's the end of this video. Hopefully you learned a lot, and we'll see you next time.